Good. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another case study for the Vista Time Mastery Program. I'm delighted to have Sister Sumaya Qaid with me. Do I pronounce that right, Qaid?
That's right.
From Birmingham.
Yeah.
And Sumaya is a mother, she's a wife, she's an entrepreneur, and on top of that, she's got a full-time job, right? And so this is a really exciting case study for all you amazing busy mums out there, the ones that, the super moms, as we like to call them. I think that you're going to find this case study really, really inspiring. So thank you, Sumaya, for coming on, first of all, to share your experiences. Our intention is to inspire other mums with your example, with your story, celebrate your achievements, and discuss a little bit about how you managed to go from the state you were in when we first met to where you are now, inshallah. So first question, Sumaya. Could you just describe a little bit about yourself? What's your job? What do you do? Where do you live? What's your kind of station in life right now?
So at the moment I'm a full-time radiographer, and also I run another two online businesses. So I'm married with a child, so it's got a quite busy lifestyle.
MashaAllah. So you just froze for a little bit. So I got your radiographer, mum, and with a child. And did you say we missed the entrepreneur bit?
Yeah, I've got two businesses.
Businesses, MashaAllah. And when you first met me at the end of May, do you want to just describe for the listeners, like you're in a very different state now, but when you came to me, what was going on in your life, and why is it that you needed my help at the time?
I was very overwhelmed. I didn't have no structure to my day, and I felt like every time I wake up, I was like fighting with the day. It was like there was like no ending. I just was so burnt out. I was just doing so many things at once. I was quite burnt out as well. Yeah. So I was in a really kind of bad position, because I was felt like I was just drowning in so much work and so much things were going on. Yeah. And
specifically, I think the areas which you were stressed about in particular, the three areas I remember you talked about. One was your business.
Yeah.
One was, you were quite guilty about the time you had with your son, your parenting. And then also, I think the third one was your Deen, right? So do you want to describe why you were not satisfied in those three areas?
So being with an entrepreneur, like I didn't have no structure. Like I was doing so much things at once. Things weren't progressing, and I was just kind of fighting with the day. With being a mum, it was hard for me to be there for my son, even though he'll be next to me, but I wasn't there present with him, and I wouldn't I never looked at the importance of spending that quality time with him. I was just always about work, no time at all for him. And if there is time, I'll be on my phone trying to sort something out. And also with my Deen, I was just kind of all over the place, kind of neglected that aspect. And also with my marriage as well, I neglected that as well, because it was always to do with work constantly, and it's nothing kind of having that, date nights, neglected all that.
So it just felt like you were just basically going to work, coming back stressed, nothing's really progressing, and it was repeat, right? Yeah, subhanallah. And it was amazing, and alhamdulillah, we had a call, and I knew I could help you, and I knew the Vista Time Mastery Program could make a massive difference in your life, because to be fair, I remember your first self-rating was like 2, right? 2 out of 10, 20% on all this. And I knew the nice thing about that, anyone listening and you feel like you're in that state, and I remember telling this to you, I said that the good news about that is that you're going to see a lot of progress really quickly. It's going to feel great, because you've got there's so many areas we can hit, right? And so it's going to feel great when we hit even 1 or 2 of them. And alhamdulillah, now what are your ratings now, your self ratings on those 3 areas after 8 weeks?
It was about 8 to 9. Yeah.
Wow, 80 and 90%. You were like quadrupled your performance in these 3 areas. That is amazing. So now let's describe the contrast. So where are you now? Describe how you're feeling now, and what are some of the how do you describe your state in terms of your business, your Deen, and your parenting now?
Now I'd say we're kind of on that top level. I feel like with my day now, it's more structured. Even if, say, like I have a one-off day, so for example, I woke up late, so I didn't plan, I always can reset myself, because I've learned everything from that I need to learn from your course. I can go back and just be like, okay, I know I feel like the day's gonna drag me. Let's just reset, go back to what did I learn? And then I just go back to it and just implement it all again. Because sometimes you do wake up late, things happen, you become ill, things you can't, it's out of control. And then you kind of feel like, oh my God, the day's gonna drag now. Well, I feel like I had this chicken in that's what to describe it in a round, but then you just gotta pause, and you've got basically the coping skills, to structure your day that way. And you can implement it all of your life, like every area you think is like, it's not kind of not working, and you will see the difference by the end of the day. And you realize you've got so much time towards the end of the day that you can spend time with your family or whatever you enjoy, really, kind of sit down, just watch TV if you want, or whatever you do it, so you don't feel like you're constantly getting burnt out. You enjoy life more as well. Yeah,
fantastic. I mean, so yeah, let's I mean, you talk about saving time. I mean, we're going to talk about the 3-hour workday challenge in a minute, but could you describe some of your most proudest achievements, like, in the last 8 weeks, and think about, things which you never, I remember you told me just before this call, like, you'd never thought you could have achieved this. So do you want to share a few examples in your business, your Deen, in your family life? What are some of your proudest achievements, the things you're most grateful for that you managed to do?
So with family life, I've been able to kind of have more date nights with my husband, spend more time with my son. I was able to spend so much time within the 8 weeks that I did on the course. It was literally every day we were doing some different activities. It was really actually fun. And
how's that affected your relationship? Has he noticed?
Yeah, he's just like more of a stronger bond as well with us, and I feel we're more closer to how we were before, even though he's only little, but still he's very he's like a mummy's boy now. And so it's like I could see that, like, the change, like, as soon as I started the course, literally everything, like from family to my marriage, literally more date nights, and things were more interesting then. It's just, and also, like, with the business, I was able to achieve goals. I was able to achieve, like, I was able to get like 100 products out.
Wow.
I thought, oh my God, because I felt like I was stuck in the beginning. I had limited amount of products, but within 8 weeks, I was able to scale. It was just quite crazy. And so it was just a massive change in literally my family life, and literally my business life as well. So
fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the Deen, because I do remember you were struggling even with your 5 Salah when I met you. So where's that? Because again, that's gone to, mashallah, you rated it like an 8. So again, what are some of the things you've done in the Deen?
I'm able to now, like, I kind of, because I never used to be able to pray properly 5 times. Now I'm literally every day. It's like, I do my 5 days. My 5 Salahs a day. So I got that kind of plans out, where it also kind of, because the plan with us helped, I use as well, and that allowed me not to miss my Salahs. So I'm always kind of on time with them, and more structured. So it helped in that sense, because I thought, oh right, in 8 weeks I won't be able to do all my Salahs, like, it's going to be difficult, but no, it helped.
Mashallah, fantastic. That's so good. And then you even entered the competition, which wasn't that long ago, and you probably surprised yourself. Mashallah, came runner-up, did really well, saved around 10 hours that week, I think. And so yeah, do you want to describe that week? Like that's for the listeners who are not aware, we have a 3-hour workday challenge which we run every few months for my existing Vista clients, for them to compete, and the purpose is to showcase and to kind of practice the skills you've learned in Vista. So do you want to describe how that week went, and what you achieved in that week?
So in that week I was able to save, I think, was this 7.5 hours or 10 hours, I can't remember the top of my head now, but I was able to save a lot. And literally, but that 3 hours challenge, that helped me kind of use all the resources I've got, make me think outside of the box, what I can do, because I was able to kind of delegate some of the tasks. Things I've noticed, I realized about myself, I'm quite a control freak. I like to do things by myself. Then I realized, no, you need to save time. So I kind of delegated tasks, like, to my husband, or so I had kind of like a help with the housework, like a cleaner. It doesn't cost much, but you have to just cut, you can work around finances or however you want. And it worked, because then you just realize, okay, I've got this amount of time, I can focus on this. And even with work, people always use the excuse. I've used that excuse. Yes. This is no time, this is no time. Wow. But then you've got that 1 hour You just sit and talk to people instead of talking to someone. Sit down, get things you want to sort out, and
You
you
really
just
squeeze the juice out of your day, huh?
yeah, basically, yeah. And you just later on, when you finish the day, you realize you've got so much time. You can do whatever you want with it.
I remember
Literally.
asking you at the end, like, how did it, like,
Yeah.
like normally when you do a competition, it's like, you know, full on effort, and at the end, you know, you're tired, you're ready to rest. But I remember you saying that you actually felt relaxed by the end of it, didn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, so you can usually use the time with anything to kind of like self-care, because I love self-care, you know, things like they're getting pampered. You can just use that, or spend with the family however you want to use the evenings. And yeah, it's just kind of just trying to use the day, because when people don't realize you've got so much time to the day, but people kind of waste it on TikTok, you know, social media, or just yeah.
So subhanallah, so you know, many people they've been on courses before, you know, they might have tried a course or a YouTube video. What you've, mashallah, done, you've invested and you've now completed, you've gone on a you know, world-class productivity Islamic time management coaching program. What would you say are maybe 2 or 3 of the differences you found by doing this compared to anything else you've tried, which really made the biggest difference in your change?
So I've with this, because I was guided through like every step. So like I learned things about like the Q2. I didn't realize what it was. That helped dramatically. The kind of the weekly planner, that helped a lot. That just literally structures my week, and it just feels like when you feel overwhelmed or you've got so much going on in your head, literally jump on that, structure it, and you just feel like, oh my God, what was I kind of stressing over, worrying over? That help. And also just being able to kind of just be guided through every topic, going on the calls. And it's like also the Facebook, feel like, you know, when you've got like every week you it's like accountability, that's the right word, accountability. It's just like, you know, you're going to get the things done because it's so you have to post it, which is good, because that way you're able to get things done. And that helped so much compared not doing the course. If I didn't do the course, I think I was in stage 1, literally not, just kind of lost again, watching YouTube people talking about time management, but everyone's telling different things and you're just so confused. But this, and also I found barakah as well in my life. Like I found so much barakah, like in terms of kind of success in my job, everything, you know, and everything around this. I just seen so much more blessings and just more of like a happier life, really.
Here's the thing. I remember there was a point when early on you were nearly ready to quit. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And so and I think if I remember correctly, there was financial pressures. You're worried that, you know, you needed to spend time, you know, paying off debts and things like that. And so, what got you over that hurdle? And what would you say to you know? And that's a common reason people fail to invest in programs like this, is that they're scared that you know, they can't afford it, or it's going to be a bit of a sacrifice to do it. And what I often say is that, look, you know, sometimes you have to take 1 step back to take 5 steps forward. So do you want to describe like the fears you had and how you overcame them, and how you feel now?
Yeah, I had the fear of like paying for the course. That was like kind of my biggest fear. It was like money. But then what I realized, for me to get through that, I have to invest in myself. And the only way to do that is to invest in a course like this. Otherwise, you'll just be like in square one or whatever situation. For you to change a situation, you have to do something about it. And that's like taking accountability, implementing it into your life. But you need obviously a coach to guide you, someone who's already done it, someone who's already a step ahead. And that way you'll be able to kind of make a difference. So, you know, no matter what, fear, like with fear, it's been kind of, you know, everyone goes through fear, but it's just overcoming that fear. So the best way to do it is just kind of come into tune with it, either by writing it down, you know, see the what would happen, like, you know, if you're able to get through this fear, what can you achieve from this? It's just kind of coming like into terms with it, just kind of see that you're actually scared, but just kind of push yourself and overcome that fear and just go ahead with it.
Wow. And now that you've come to the end of the 8 weeks, is there any regret? How do you feel now?
No, I'm so glad that I did it. Honestly, it's just like, because like the difference, I feel like such a different person now to how I was before. And I'm glad I did it, because otherwise I'll be going into 2023, still the same person, nothing changed. Wow. So so if someone's really committed about changing their life, it's the only way to go forward is investing in a course and have a coach to guide you.
MashaAllah. And I want to talk about the future in terms of, you know, one of the things we worked on is your vision. So, you know, tell us a little bit now that you've been through that, we've worked on your mission statement. What's your vision for you now in the future, and how's that evolved in these 8 weeks now? What's your hope and your ambition, and what does that look like? What do you see for yourself now for your future, and how has that vision evolved?
So definitely I can see myself helping other women, especially her mums, to kind of become like their own boss, become an entrepreneur, and just kind of come out of that, where people feel like, they can't work, they can't do this, or they can't be who they want to be. So I really, as I did mention, my mission statement is to help as much mothers I can to become who they want to be, whichever they want to go, whichever line they want to go.
What about you personally? How do you feel about your own personal vision as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a wife, as a Muslimah? How has that evolved since you started? Like I'm maybe I remember at the beginning it was kind of like fighting fires. Do you feel much more ambitious now? Do you have a higher vision for yourself now?
Yeah, so I feel more ambitious, I'm more confident, I'm more I feel like I can deal with with the day, because that was my, in the beginning I was like, I'm struggling with the day and feel so overwhelmed, it's like the day dragging me. But I feel like no, I can conquer the day. So I just wake up and I'm like, I can do this, it's gonna be a good day. Where before I used to just be like, I just want to kind of sleep, I can't be bothered with this, or I'm just running down, driving the car so fast, just kind of angry, if that's the right way to describe it. But now, alhamdulillah, more relaxed, more excited for the day, more happier, I'd say. Yeah.
Fantastic. So happy for you, Sumaya. It's so wonderful to hear that. So great. That's why I do this. I just love to see that transformation, and I love to see where you are now and your positivity and the structures you've got in place. And you've really developed some skills, mashallah. You came second in that challenge, which was a tough challenge. There was some stiff competition, right? So you did really well there. So congratulations to you, and all the best in the future. Final question is, there'll be some people watching this, some people just like you, maybe other mums who are also entrepreneurs maybe, and they're trying to juggle things and feeling a bit overwhelmed, and they're maybe on the fence and they're wondering, should I get on that 15-minute call? Should I go on the strategy call? And maybe they're scared. What would be your advice to people like that who are watching this and are on the fence?
I would just say, just kind of go ahead with it. It's normal to be scared, and it's normal to kind of have that fear and being on the fence. But if you don't do it now, you will never end up doing it, and you'll just carry on moaning and be like, I'm still in the same situation. The best thing to do, just book that call, and you'll see a difference. Just it will only take 15 minutes, and quick call, and you'll see, the potential that you can, the different person that you can be after 8 weeks. So the best thing is just kind of overcome that fear, just go ahead with it and just do it.
Well, you overcame that fear, and inshallah you'll overcome many more obstacles. I'm really proud of you, and inshallah keep in touch. And thank you so much on behalf of the listeners and the Vista community. We wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing your. We'll put a link in for your Amazon store, by the way. So we'll drop in a link for your page, and you sell all sorts of things which will be useful for all listeners. So inshallah that will be probably in benefiting from you that way as well. So jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.